With the storm surrounding Michael Tate growing louder, the Newsboys finally spoke. It happened at one of their recent shows, a moment many hoped would bring clarity, maybe even accountability. But what we got was far from it. Instead of remorse, we got rehearsed lines. Instead of truth, we got deflection. Instead of healing, we got performance. Don't just take my word for it. Watch this. See exactly what they said and what they didn't.
Let's try this one. Here we go. Thank you, guys. That means a lot, and we're just so grateful to be here right now. And we wanted to come out before we play and just tell you for just a few minutes a little bit about what's been going on, if you don't know. And yeah, you can have a seat for just a second. And then you're going to be right back up on your feet, okay? First of all, I'm Adam Agee, this is Jeff Frankenstein, and Jody Davis, Duncan Phillips. And we're the Newsboys. Duncan, Jody, and Jeff have been in the band for over 30 years. And my first tour with the band, my first experience with Newsboys was in 2007. I had a band called Stellar Card, and we got to go out and tour with these guys. And we've known each other for a long time, and I've been blessed and honored to be a part of this band now for about 3 years. And so we've been doing a lot of life together. And as a lot of you guys know, our former lead singer for the last 15 years played his last show with us in November of last year. And in January, he came to us and he confessed that he'd been living a double life and he wanted to get help. And so he checked into a facility in Utah, and we encouraged him to do that. And we had to ask ourselves, what's next? And we prayed about it, and we all felt that God wanted us to move forward, and we felt like we still had a ministry and a mission to do, and so we continued to move on. And for the last 6 months, we've played everywhere from New York to Florida to California to right here in Arizona, and we have seen the most amazing people and the most amazing crowds, and we've seen the Spirit do things that it's been so encouraging, and we've just had the best time as a band with you guys on the road. And then a couple of weeks ago, our world was rocked by the devastating news about what that confession and what that double life really was. And we were shocked because in January he had mentioned a few things about substance abuse and some personal struggles he was having at home when he wasn't on the road, but never anything of the magnitude of what we read and what was reported, and never anything ever. He never said anything that could have made us ever think that it could possibly be a danger to others or anything like that. And so it was so shocking to us because it's not the guy that we knew. The guy that we knew that we'd been on the road with, he was our bandmate, he was our brother, and he was a friend to our families, to our kids. We got 14 kids between us, and he was a friend to our families. He would come over to our house and hang out. We'd go over to his house and take our kids over there and watch the Super Bowl at his house because it was awesome. And it's just been devastating for us. And our families have felt like our names have been just dragged through the mud because of all this, and it's really, really hurt our kids. And
love you guys. Love you. God is greater than that.
And as a result of all this and the things that have come out that he's done, that he's confessed to, we've been dropped from our record label. We've had radio stations pull our music, and we've been canceled by promoters and venues all over the world, but not tonight. Not in Arizona. Not in my home state. Not like Brian Cole and Extreme Faith Productions, who still believes in Newsboys. I grew up here. I've known Brian and the Extreme Faith crew for 20 years. Went to Arizona State University. I met my wife here. I was a part of starting many churches here, one including The Bridge, who we started right there. The youth group's here tonight. My pastors, my friends are here. My family's here. And we felt love in the pre-show meet and greet. We feel so much love right now. We cannot wait to have a great show with you guys tonight and worship together. Thank you for being here. We love you. We'll see you again.
That speech was a slap in the face, not just to the people watching, but to the victims, the ones who actually suffered. They stood there with microphones in hand, eyes full of crocodile tears, and made it all about themselves. Their pain, their reputations, their so-called cancellation. Are you serious? You got cancelled because you were complicit, because you stood by a predator for over a decade and said nothing. You watched it all happen, on the road, in the green rooms, on the tour bus. And now you're shocked people are holding you accountable? What's truly disgusting is how not once, not a single word, did they mention the victims. No acknowledgement of the women whose lives were ripped apart. No apology for the fans who put their trust in them. No reflection on the damage done. Instead, we get this sad story about how they've been hurt, how they've been misunderstood. Give me a break. You traveled with Tate, you partied with him, you watched him spiral. And now you're telling us you had no clue? Everyone in the Christian music world was whispering, and you somehow missed it? Come on, this wasn't ignorance, this was silence, a choice, and now that the truth is coming out, you want to play the victims too? Nah, we're not buying it. What makes this even more enraging is the complete lack of reflection. They stood up there, dripping in self-pity, but couldn't spare a single breath for the actual victims. No mention of the women who were preyed on, no acknowledgement of the trauma, no apology for the years they looked the other way. Nothing, just, we're hurting. We've been cancelled. We've been misunderstood. You think you're the victims? While the real victims sit in silence, ignored, erased. And the crowd? That was just as disturbing, cheering, clapping, as if they were heroes, not enablers. How can you still support this band when they've done nothing to take responsibility? How can anyone with a conscience applaud this? Christian fans out there clapping like seals. You're not helping, you're part of the problem. If these guys were really devastated, if they actually felt the weight of what's happened, they'd step away. Stop the tours, cancel the shows, get off the stage, and do the real work of repentance. But no, they're marching on like it's business as usual. This speech, scripted to perfection. You can feel it, every line rehearsed, every word carefully polished to make them look like the victims. When in reality, they've been hiding in the shadows, protecting their image, letting Michael Tate do what he did, unchecked. They knew. They all knew. And now they expect sympathy? After decades of silence? Miss me with that. This was never about healing. It's about money. The label dropped them, not because of conscience, but because they stopped being profitable. And that tells you everything. This isn't about heartbreak. It's not about faith. It's about business. Cold, calculated, and shameful. Let's be real, record labels don't invest in people, they invest in profit. They spend big on recordings, promotions, music videos, branding, all to shape a marketable image that sells. And once that image cracks, once the artist stops generating money, they're gone. That's what's happening here. Radio stations pulling their songs, promoters cancelling shows. The industry isn't punishing the Newsboys, it's dropping them. Because they're no longer profitable. The label doesn't care about their moral failures, it cares about returns. It's cold, it's harsh, but that's how this machine works. And here's where the truth really hits. This whole situation has always been about money. Money reveals character, it magnifies what's already inside. If you're a good person, it brings out more of the good. If you're corrupt, it just turns the spotlight up on the darkness. And with Michael Tate, money didn't make him who he is, it just exposed him. The fame, the influence, the protection, all of it insulated him while people suffered in silence. But not anymore. If you believe the truth still matters, let's make sure it's heard. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. And share this with someone who still thinks Christian fame equals Christian character. Because it's time we all stopped confusing the spotlight for the truth.